So, Mark, the big news of the week has been the hacks in Las Vegas, and we talked about that on a previous show. So look on the channel. You can find out all of the information. We covered every bit of news about it, and both MGM and Caesars. But this week, as people flocked away from the MGM properties, they went to Caesars and other places. Did you see that there was a room at the Flamingo? The Fab room was $484 a night plus resort fee and taxes. Not quite fab to me.
Yeah, the Fab room with all the dents and dings and scuffs all over the place. Yeah, those rooms have not held up well over the years, but it's just nuts. And, you know, they don't even need F1 to drive up prices. All they need is the Russians to do them a good deed, and then Caesars can scoop it up. They paid $15-20 million or whatever it be to get out of the hack, and they're going to make that back in Flamingo stays.
So a lot of news this week out of Las Vegas other than the cyber attacks, which we covered on the other show. And starting with Luxor, they're getting a new playground. And this isn't like an Area 15 high-tech digital technology sort of playground. It's an old school sort of immersive playground, 14,000 square feet. It's going to be on that atrium level where some of those theaters are, Blue Man Group, Carrot Top, all of that. It's going to have slides, and they say it's going to be like on a game show. And during the day, it's going to be family friendly. And then at night, 21 and over. It looks kind of interesting from the concept art and another experiential Vegas sort of thing.
Yeah, I remember like Discovery Zone as a kid, and you just hope nobody poops or pukes in the slide before you get there. I wonder if that's what it's going to be like at night. Like they're going to have to shut it down from somebody spilling drinks all over the place or just being rambunctious. But it's a cool idea, something you don't really see anywhere, kind of a throwback. And you know, all us 80s, 90s kids that grew up with outdoor McDonald's play places, the OG, the way better than the indoor ones. This is kind of like something similar to that. So I think it will do well, and something to go to Luxor for, which, you know, isn't always a thing.
Yeah, and it fits on brand with them, attached to the Excalibur. I should say Area 15 does have a slide, but this is more like a playground feeling compared to what Area 15 is. They feel like very different sort of things. But this is going to be the first, and they want to build a bunch of these around the country, so we'll see how it works out. I think if you're going to kind of launch this concept, Vegas probably a good place to do it. I'm looking forward to it. It looks kind of cool. You enter via the slide, you play game shows, tactile experiences. Very, very old school, like you said. So, yeah, DZ at Discovery Zone. I can never get that song out of my head.
Leaps and Bounds was always better, though.
Well, we didn't have those out here on the West Coast.
Well, Midwest people will know what I'm talking about. Or East Coast. I don't remember where they were, but I liked them better.
As a reminder, our Patreon launches today, and we have an after show that we do every single week, including right now, an after show from this show. Plus, there's some bonus content about our backstory. So head on over to patreon.com/MTM Vegas.
Yes, come join us.
So one of our favorite follows on Twitter, Viva Las Value. He comes to Vegas often, and he shares all of his experiences, good and bad, his wins, his losses, which I appreciate because we all know that there's a lot of influencers who don't do that. But he had a really rough trip, and he decided to be very introspective, write an article about, you know, the losses and how it made him feel, called it When the Fun Stops. And I thought it was worth highlighting this simply because, you know, we highlight sort of the upside of gambling, the fun, all of the stuff happening in Vegas. But there is a downside. I've lived here a long time. I've seen it. And I thought this was a great article to remind people that sometimes you got to look within and figure out if this is all too much.
Yeah, I think there's a couple things you want to look for in this type of thing. And I said on Twitter when I shared his article that a hot streak is like the worst thing for a recreational gambler because it gives you this feeling of invincibility. You know, you've been there, I've been there, where you're like, oh, I'll just win it back. And you keep buying in for more and more. And there's two things that are like red herring or, you know, red marks that you should watch out for that he brings up in the article. First one is when you're doing something else and you're not getting any joy out of it because you're just worried about getting back to the casino to win your money back. He said that happened on the cruise and on his recent trip. If you're like in a movie or a show and all you're worried about is like, I got to get out of here so I can get back there and win this money back, that's bad. The other one is when you're sitting there gambling, if you're not having any fun and you're just doing it because you feel like you need to try to win money back, that's the other bad spot. So watch for those two things. I mean, you definitely have to step outside of yourself a bit. It's hard to admit to yourself that you're doing something crazy and getting in too deep, but that's where we see, and you know, we've both been there. So definitely appreciate him putting that out there.
Yeah, and why are we covering that on this show? Because we would like to cover both sides, and he did a great job of writing this up. We highly suggest you read it, and a link in the description. So let's move on. Civic Center Plaza. This is a new green space coming downtown right across from City Hall. So it's about a couple blocks south of Plaza and very close to the bridge that goes over the railroad to Smith Center and stuff like that. They're building new office buildings, but this beautiful new green space, they announced it last year, but it's now under construction, should be open hopefully soon in the next few months. They're going to have events there. So another cool little venue downtown, not very far from Fremont Street, so maybe worth a walk over there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it walkable? Like, what kind of feeling do you get from walking there? Because I know we walked down to Neon Light Museum, and you chastised me for that as not the best walk or smartest walk to take, but we did it.
Speaking of Viva Las Value, on his last trip, he went to the 7-Eleven there on Las Vegas Boulevard to save on ATM fees, and apparently he almost got robbed or something. And you have to walk by that on the way to the Neon Museum. This is the other way, so this is really just walking from Plaza down Main Street 2 blocks, basically not far from where their parking garage is. And this is right where City Hall is, so it's a much safer area, I would say. But yeah, downtown can be a little rough at times. And if you want to save on ATM fees, then just get a Schwab checking account. It's free. All over the world, you get free ATM fees. It's what I use in the casinos and also while I'm traveling.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was going to say. You stole my thunder, but it reimburses like $20 fees, $30 fees, any crazy amount, anywhere in the world. It's free, so definitely get one of those if you are pulling out of the casino and you know, you're going to get hit with that $10, $15 fee, whatever it is these days. Is just nuts. So that's nice to have there. But also, you know, set the limits like we talked about. Like, you don't want to be going back to the ATM every day. Don't put too much money in there.
For sure. So the Rise Festival is coming again. This is sold out, I think, every year. It's coming October 6th and 7th. And it says on their website that they're like 95% sold out. But what I wanted to cover was Resorts World sent me an email offering 2-for-1 tickets, and I confirmed that the code works. The code is RWFriends2023. I think tickets for Friday night are $129, $159 for Saturday night, so you'd get 2-for-1, although they do double you up on the fees for the tickets, which kind of sucks. This is the largest lantern festival or lantern release, I believe, in America. It looks really cool. Some of the videos from past years, they take you about 25 miles out in the desert, and you get, thousands of people releasing these at the same time. The visuals are incredible, and I've always wanted to do it. Maybe I should do it at 2-for-1.
Yeah, I think this is really unique. I've always wanted to be in a big lantern lighting, or at least watch it from afar, see them go up. It's one of the cooler things you see. Like, it's always in movies and stuff, but you never really get to do it in real life. So I would definitely do it if I was in town. It would be something I would, at 2-for-1, I would take advantage of it. At double those prices, I don't know that I could swallow that to send some lights up in the air, but at 2-for-1, it's a bit easier to handle for sure.
Resorts World also announced that Carrie Underwood added 18 new shows for 2024. Tickets are going on sale September 18th if you want to grab them. So her residency continues to go on, even if we see Katy Perry not back, and Luke Bryan's had a lot of issues lately, so we don't know what his future is there. David Blaine moving across the street to Wynn, so some shakeups there in the entertainment, but Carrie Underwood staying strong.
Yeah, she's a big name to have. One of the bigger ones. Lady Gaga's coming back to Vegas, which is awesome. Katy Perry hopefully comes back. Her show was so well received, so I'm hoping that they work something out with her.
Yeah, she's going on her world tour, so maybe she'll give Vegas some love after that's all over. Caesars is out in Dubai. We covered a few weeks ago that Dubai is getting ready to create the legislative framework for gambling in the Emirates, or all of the Emirates, really. And Caesars was the first gaming company to be there. They opened in 2018, their Caesars Palace. The idea was to have a casino at some point. Of course, that hasn't come yet. And I guess their 5-year contract is up because the owners are kicking them out in favor of the Banyan Tree brand from Accor. A very, very nice high-end brand. So just as MGM and Wynn are getting ready to move into the market, we know that the regulatory framework is coming. Caesars is out. Bad timing for them.
Yeah, and a little bit weird for the owners to decide that, you think you'd want to stay and see if the casino comes, because that would probably likely bring you higher rents, better money, all that type of stuff. So I'm surprised that they would do this. You maybe go like year to year for a couple of years, see how it plays out. I wouldn't just kick them to the curb right now, but that is a great name to bring in.
When we talked about the gaming thing a few weeks ago, I showed pictures of the rooms in Caesars Palace, Dubai. A lot of people said they didn't look great. I agree. Banyan Tree or Banyan Tree, how do you say it? Let me know in the comments. I think Banyan is how you say it, but I always used to say Banyan. But that brand is incredible, and I think that you'll see a full refresh. Yeah, exactly. Correct me down in the comments. We know you guys all love to do that. But Caesar's bad timing, as we see that. A lot of people still don't think gaming will come to the Emirates, and they don't think it's going to work out, but a lot of money behind that, and I think they want to drive tourism as Saudi Arabia is competing more fiercely for the tourist market. So we'll keep an eye on that. Some news coming out of Fontainebleau. Vital Vegas reports that his sources say that it will open on December 13th. Again, no official word, although he did say that the website might be online next week for reservations and stuff, so that could be good. I talked to my inside source, or my construction worker friend, and he said basically that the casino looks absolutely wonderful. The rooms at least halfway up the tower are finished. He expects December. Now, he's not a high up guy, so he's not going to have that official word, but just based on what he's seeing inside of there, he said it's all good. And coincidentally, he's back from Rio, and he said he's so happy to be back over at Fontainebleau from the Rio renovations.
He's tired of that Flintstone steak table or whatever. But no, I said no because, of course, it's the week after I'm supposed to be there. And originally we had heard the first weekend of December opening. So I'm hoping that this is wrong too. And maybe they split the difference and open the Wednesday before that, something along those terms. Otherwise, I'll have to come back early next year to check it out. And then I'll just give all my love to Durango on there instead, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting. This is all still rumors, but we've talked about how quiet they've been, and maybe they're getting ready to ramp up all their stuff. They are doing a job fair September 25th through September 30th. They're hiring 6,500 workers for the property, and depending on the day, I'll throw it up on the screen for you, which positions you're applying for. You can do the job fair. Yeah, exactly. Maybe they can hire more PR people as part of this job fair so that we can get some cool stuff from the inside there instead of leaks coming out. But based on all the information, the rumors, the inside source with construction, a lot of people are still sort of skeptical that it's going to open in December or that it's going to open at all. You know, they've watched it sit there on the Strip for the last 15 or so years. It's going to happen, and it does seem like December is likely. And they did say they're going to open in December. They just never gave us a date. So hopefully we'll know that for sure very soon.
Yes, hopefully the week before. Thank you. Take care of it.
We also have a great look at the inside screen of the Las Vegas Sphere, or the Sphere at Venetian Resort. Darren Aronofsky is the guy who's directing that Postcards from Earth movie that you made so much fun about, saying that it's the world's most expensive movie theater. But he posted on Instagram.
Most expensive safari theater.
Yeah. Well, it looks incredible. So we're going to disagree on this or something. I don't know. But he posted on Instagram an incredible video of what it looks like inside the actual movie showing instead of, you know, the testing that we've seen before. And the scale is incredible. He says the iPhone can't even capture, you know, what the definition is and how great it looks. Obviously, he directed the movie and he's sort of on the inside there. But that giant elephant walking around, man, I was sold with that. They could take my $60, $70, $80. You're not sold?
200. I mean, it looks amazing. I think it's cool. And just with Darren, like, all his videos are kind of dark and storytelling and all this stuff. And then to have him be doing basically like a safari video feels a little bit weird. I don't know that I would want to pay that much to see these type of things. I would rather see something, you know, more modern, techno. I don't know. Like I made a joke before the show, the Tron, like a new Tron on it would be amazing or something. I think the screen looks great. They're going to be doing so many cool things on it. I just don't know that elephants walking around is what I would open the Sphere with.
Well, the whole movie was shot all around the world. So I think we don't know everything about it, but we know it's supposed to be sort of a showcase
Shark
of
Week.
Things around the world.
By the Sphere.
Oh, you're going to piss a lot of people off with this, but
hey, Shark Week is cool though. I mean, I like it.
Yeah, I think the technology sounds incredible. I'm good with it. I mean, I want to see it. And to your point, they're going to do a lot of things other than this with it. They want to bring other movies to it. And this is sort of their showcase of trying to get it. And nature films, you know, have been popular for a long time. And we don't know that it's just going to be nature. I think we'll see other locales. And this feels like it'll be like an Epcot sort of film that you would see at Epcot, but like on steroids with the amazing screens, 160,000 speakers, all of that. And what we have to say is that James Dolan, for all the criticism that he got, for all the cost overruns, for the potential financial problems that'll happen with this Sphere Entertainment Company, his vision, I mean, he delivered. I mean, the outside screens are wowing everybody. I believe, based on this, that everybody will be wowed with this. The audio experience, from what people have said, is going to be incredible. People who have experienced it already. It seems like on every level, they created a world-class facility that is unlike anything else, and that is just absolutely perfect for Las Vegas.
Yeah, I think it came together really nice. I was skeptical of what it would look like on the outside. You know, at one point we saw like lasers and it looked really low tech and not at all what we envisioned or were promised. And then all of a sudden they are doing all those things that we had hoped they could do. So it's really cool. And I make fun of the nature video, but I I think it looks amazing. I mean, I would definitely go there to watch something. It just, I don't know that I would watch that. And then if they can get the sound perfect, that would be great. You know, a lot of these concerts that happen in big stadiums just can't handle the sound, like an Allegiant or something like that. The sound isn't great when you're filling a huge football stadium, and this is made for that type of thing for concerts. I think it's going to be really unique and probably the best place to have a concert experience. It's just a question of, do they get enough of the bands that people want to see in there that are willing to put the time and effort into investing, making a great show of all this. You know, you can't just show up and play music there. You have to go balls to the wall to get it all included and encompass everything and to take advantage of it. So it'll be interesting to see who's willing to take on that, because it won't be an easy task for sure.
You would have to think a lot of artists would want to perform there. The problem is they have these world tours. We talked about Ed Sheeran's concert, and they're designed to be moved and to be in multiple venues across the world, right? So you have to create a special show for this, but I think the audience is going to experience something incredible if you do that, because like you say, the sound, the venue is made for that, the acoustics, everything is designed for this world-class experience, plus the screen and everything. I think they're going to find plenty of bands willing to do it. Although, with that said, we really don't have anything else announced. I know there were some rumors of Fish coming to do a residency there that came online this week, but nothing really announced. U2 about to start their big residency, but I would have to think as these bands come and see shows there, or they get more of a look at the finished product, they're going to be, I want to perform there. I think this is a way to create an experience unlike at any other show, and certainly not in arenas where, as you point out, the sound is really terrible. It's more about seeing the person, that little dot down on the stage, than it is getting a great audio experience.
Yeah, and I think that what they should try to do is sign people to like 3 or 4 year deals where, hey, you give us 2 weekends a year for this many years, so that they're not like they're not bringing in somebody new every couple weeks and recreating a show, where they can take a show from, you know, what they did last year, maybe tweak it a little bit, add some new stuff for new songs they've released since then, or use a lot of the same and just go forward, and then they can fill all the slots with that. It's just getting them to commit the first time, but hopefully that's what they're talking to you. Like U2, if you could bring them back every year around the same time, I think that would be huge.
And I think it'll get easier to develop for this, right, as they get more practice at it, developing for the screens and the sound, and I'm sure they're learning lessons with U2. So, like I said, James Dolan, as much as he can be a jerk in some other ways,
as much as
he
he's
really
a jerk,
pushed this
he did
vision.
a good job.
Yeah. A great job, I think, based on everything we've seen inside and out. And I think everybody who comes to Las Vegas is going to want to experience this, whether it's Postcards from Earth, a concert. This is going to be the place to go on the Las Vegas Strip more than anything else, more than the new casinos, more than Fontainebleau, Resorts World, anything else we get. This is going to be the one thing that people say, I have to go see that when I go to Las Vegas. And that's really good for tourism, really good for the city. Can't wait. Just a few weeks now.
You know what would be great?
Couple weeks.
Dune 2 on that theater would be awesome. Let's do that.
Just go to the Excalibur. You know, you get they put the rocks in. They took out your Dune experience.
There you go. I know.
So let us know what you think about anything we talked about today. The Sphere screen, Caesars out in Dubai, anything else, problem gambling, you know, hit us up in the comments. It's good to cover all of this stuff. We do 2 shows a week, Tuesdays and Fridays. We'll be back in just a couple of days. 3 this week. We'll be back in just a couple of days with another show. Don't forget our Patreon. We have our after show available now. Hope to see some of you guys there. Thanks so much for watching. Talk to you next time.
Have a good Saturday, everybody.